The signal from my Spidey tracer is getting weaker. I better move before I lose it completely.
I've got some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is that the helicopter doesn't move that fast. The bad news is that almost every bad guy in this level has a rocket launcher. And you might be able to guess, just a few hits from a rocket launcher and Spidey's down for the count. We're going to come over here to the right, which is pretty far away from the next group of enemies. And then we won't have to deal with one until we hop onto the second crane up here. If you really want to, you can stop to fight every enemy, but that's incredibly dangerous, and we're on a timer, so... We do want to take out this guy, though, because the next jump we have to do is kind of tricky. It's a long way for Spidey to swing. There we go. Very easy to fall down right there. That's the trickiest jump in the stage, though, so now all we have to worry about is dodging rockets. There are 3 guys with guns on this particular building, so we want to drop down and cling to the side. It's the only place they can't shoot us. Because of course they can shoot us while we're swinging. And we don't need to climb back up in order to swing to the next building. If we stick to the sides as much as possible, they won't be able to shoot us, but sometimes we need to climb on top. A lot of this level isn't about stealth so much as it's about being able to evade shots very quickly. And once you've memorized the building layouts, it's not so bad. For example, we need to get on top of this building to swing to a crane, but there's a little bit of a drop on the roof. And we can use that drop to our advantage to take cover. And after we hear the rocket fire, we can jump onto the crane. We got shot from below in the foot just now, but we can stay on top of the crane to avoid any further bullets. And we need to quickly swing to the other side of this crane to avoid this guy's rocket. Otherwise he'll blast us out of the air. There are always places to take cover in this level if you know where to look. We're going to stay on the side here so this guy won't shoot us. He just can't get us from that angle. And once we're on the other half of the crane, then we're clear. Very near the end of the level now, we're past most of the tricky parts. This is a big swing, but we've made bigger, I'm pretty sure. You'll notice that our signal strength is full. We're near the end of the level, so the chopper's already landed, so we don't have to worry about our signal strength getting any weaker. These guys run around the sides of the building, so if we pop up, we can expect them to be right there waiting for us. Thankfully, it's a narrow ledge, so they're easy to deal with. And I believe right up here is the last building we need to swing to.
Spidey's hot on the trail, and this time it looks to have led him to the Trainyards. Well, things look quiet now, but evil is afoot, and it's up to our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to ferret out evil where it lay.
This place looks like a prison complex. There are guards everywhere. No doubt they're all Hammerhead's men. Well, I don't want to alert the whole place, so I better play this one quiet and sneaky.
Stealth in this level is not mandatory, but it does make things a lot easier. So we're going to avoid confrontation wherever possible. That's not to say we won't get shot at a few times, but we should never be hit. The best place to hide from guards is on top of the trains. Sometimes you have to dropkick a guy here and there. It's mostly just to give us enough time to move away. Because they won't follow us into these tunnels. They're either too dumb or too lazy for that. This area has more guards than the others, but they won't see us on top of the train regardless. This Trainyard level consists of 4 areas, and after you figure out how to navigate them with minimal struggle, it's pretty easy. We are going to have to backtrack in just a second, but that's basically the same thing, but in reverse. We can platform across these trains in order to avoid any further fighting, and...
That didn't seem to work. Maybe the right combination of breakers will turn on the power.
Right, so it's a puzzle, a pretty easy one, similar to Venom's puzzle. You might wonder why we need to turn on the power, though. Spidey has a voice clip that triggers when we get closer to the doors that will clue you in on that.
Nuts! Electronic doors! I'll have to turn on the power to open them.
Thankfully for Spidey, he is invincible during cutscenes, or else we would have 3 bullet holes in our chest from that, onslaught. So we need to backtrack because the previous areas have breakers that will turn on some lights on the power switch. We need to turn on all 4 lights. So we need to press just the right combination of switches. If we press too many switches, we risk turning lights that we've already turned on back off. Realistically, we only need to press 3 switches if what I think is the most efficient route is correct. We still need to go all the way back to Area 1 regardless. So you might have noticed that Spidey mentioned Hammerhead in the intro to this level. You might wonder where exactly that's coming from. Well, this is Hammerhead's Trainyard. Of course, there's no way you could have known that, and the game hasn't even introduced Hammerhead as a villain yet, so it's a little weird to hear his name said before he shows up.
Bingo! Good thing I've been trained for this. Hey, you get it? Trained for this? Okay, let's move on, shall we?
Now we need to head all the way to Area 3, press the 2 switches there, and we'll have turned on the power to the switch. That's all we have to do, don't need to mess with any of the other switches. Pretty simple level, really easy after you figure out how to avoid all the fighting and the shooting and the death. And if you're a little bit underwhelmed by the stealth in this level, because let's face it, the stealth is a little too straightforward here, then the next level will probably scratch your stealth itch. Of course, you can just run through this level punching everybody, but that's not nearly as easy. Really, we're trying to conserve our web fluid and our health here. If you recall, after we stopped the plane a couple of levels ago, we only had 3 web cartridges left. Now we're up to 4, but the next level will give us quite a few more, assuming we don't waste any more webbing.
Well, as Edison said when he discovered electricity, ow! I bet all these guys are on Hammerhead's payroll. Wonder if Hammerhead provides his goons with medical and dental.
One of the guards sees us as soon as the level starts. We can hop up onto the train cars to avoid him, and then swing over these guys' heads to get a power-up. It's that ice webbing that we saw way earlier, only now we're going to actually use it a few times. Now it is possible to make it all the way to the power room without throwing a single hit. We just have to make appropriate use of our surroundings. For example, even though there are 2 guys patrolling this big area up here, we can avoid them entirely.
There's gotta be a control switch here somewhere.
Well, the cutscene already showed us the power room, Spidey, so you don't need to worry about that. We know where we're going. And we can just swing right in there, smooth as butter. This switch opens half of the pathway through door number 1. But that's all we need. Let's just take out this guard over here to the right while he's not looking. And after that, let's go pick up another web cartridge. This level is absolutely lousy with web cartridges. Gonna make sure we at least get a few. We still haven't used our ice webbing yet. I'll make sure we do that up ahead. Unlike our regular webbing, our ice webbing with a single tap freezes a guy where he stands, which gives us time to deal with anybody else around him. It basically performs the same functions as our normal webbing, just requires less of it. The only switch in here we need to press is the door number 2 switch. That's our way forward. Door number 2 is back near the very start of the level. We can probably stealth our way all the way to the door, but there are some guards waiting inside that'll be a little bit harder to deal with.
A lot of guards here for the night shift. Seems like I'm always missing my train.
This is a big open room, and it's very easy to get detected and shot at. However, you might have already guessed that jumping on top of the train cars will prevent us from being shot, even if they do know where we are. And what luck! There are some hidden power-ups in here, including more web cartridges and I believe some health, if we ever get shot again. Now, door number 7 is closed. Let's look around for another open door. You'll notice that all the guards in this room forgot to look for us, so they have no idea where we are anymore. That means we can safely head into this room unopposed. There are even more guards in here still. But I see a crane over here that just screams hide on top of me. So let's do that. From here we can sneak our way into another control room where we have to fight these two. Thankfully our ice webbing makes that a bit easier. And I hope you liked the ice webbing while you saw it, because we're done with it now. There's no more ice webbing. And the train we wanted escaped through door number 7.
There's the train.
And we should be able to make our way to the exit without being detected as well. Mostly because of this giant crane. Maybe this time we'll actually be able to find out what the hell is going on here. Haven't had much luck so far, but I have a good feeling about this try. As soon as we swing back into the big room, we should zip onto the ceiling to avoid being spied. And it's just a clear shot to the exit.
Wait a minute here. That guy has a case too. Bet they're responsible for that train robbery. What's so important about those cases? Huh? Mother... Can't miss that train.
This level used to give me hell, but it's all about playing smart and fast. The Sandman is on our tail, and he will erect sand walls to stop us. Fortunately, tossing a good old forklift at it will bring the sand wall down in one shot. Sandman can't move as fast as we can, but he can do the sand equivalent of teleporting. As soon as he teleports, we want to jump over and grab the forklift while he's still materializing. We should have just enough time to toss it. The problem is that the forklifts get further and further away from the sand wall each time. So we're going to do the same pattern this time. But this time Sandman's going to catch up to us before we get close enough to the wall. So we're going to chuck the forklift away and come back to pick it up later. If we swing far away enough, Sandman will dematerialize and teleport again, giving us plenty of time to grab the forklift. We can throw smaller objects at Sandman to damage him. This stuns him briefly, so that way we have more time in case we didn't have enough. We can also throw the smaller objects at the sand wall, but it's much better to just go straight for the forklift because it takes much less time. And we are on a bit of a time limit here, in case you can't tell the train is escaping. But yeah, this level can be really difficult if you can't figure out how to keep Sandman off your back or give yourself enough time to grab the forklift. But I showed you two methods that work fairly well. After this last toss, all we have to do is make our way to the train itself. Hopefully we still have enough time.
If I can just reach that train! All aboard! Hey! The beetle! What do you have to do with this?
Times change, Spider-Man. I do what I have to. Some other time, Spider Jerk.
Whoa. And what's this? Looks like Spiderella's going to the ball.